What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premsy TV. It's another transfer show, people. We got a special guest in the building, Blue Chip TV, Liverpool fan. We're going to be discussing everything Arsenal, Liverpool, all transfers, and basically one of the biggest talking points that I do want to touch on, Mo Salah as well. But just before we do get into that, Blue Chip, I'm going to call you Avi, yeah, because
You can call me Avi, yeah.
it's
Blue
a mad thing
it's just
calling you
TV name,
Blue
yeah.
Chip on
Please
there.
call me by my name, yeah. It's all good, bro.
But so, Avi, first of all, Gabriel Jesus has been confirmed as an Arsenal player. It's took donkey's years to sign him, to get it over the line by the looks of it, but we've got him through the door. What's your take on Arsenal signing Jesus? A lot of reports, a lot of fans out there mocking the signing, not really rating it because he doesn't score 20, 30 goals a season. What's your take on Jesus coming to Arsenal?
You know what? I've liked it. There was always this hype when he was coming from Brazil, right? And he had already, I think, signed a agreement with City in the summer, and then he came in January, and then he got off to a flyer. His goal scoring record isn't too bad. Like he's a really good player. He's quite industrious as well. I think Pep used him on the right hand side this season quite a lot, and he has scored important goals. I think for Arsenal, I think he's got to be the focal point. Ideally, is he taking that position of Lacazette? You know, because you got Martinelli coming on from the left, I presume. I think Jesus, he needs to be a focal point up top. And I think that's where you see the best of him. I think he can score. I know there's been a lot of question marks from, especially Arsenal fans, regarding his goal scoring record, whether he can score 20 a season. I think he can. I think you're a team which creates chances. You've got Odegaard, hopefully another learning curve last season for Emil Smith-Rowe. I think another good year from him bodes well. And then I think, Jesus is definitely a 20 goal a season man. He can be that man where he can score regularly week in and week out.
Well, he has come out. He has said that he is going to be Arsenal's number 9 and his best favoured position is up top, which, to be fair, we've let Lacazette go. We've let Aubameyang go. We didn't replace Aubameyang in January. So for me, I still feel we need another striker. I'm not saying Jesus can't hold the ball up or he can't get his head onto things, because he can. But that's not his main assets to his game. And I feel like we've got room for another striker in the team. We just need somebody a little bit more physical. Somebody a bit like Ivan Toney's a bit more of a complete striker. And when shit ain't going for you, you could just throw a different option on. But I think Jesus will come in. He's got all my full support. To be fair, it's a signing where it does give you a glimmer of hope to think, right, okay, players want to come and play for Arsenal still, because Jesus, I believe he had 3-4 offers on the table. People tried to snatch the deal late and he stayed committed. He wanted to play for Arteta. He wants to play for Arsenal. And they're kind of the players that man wants at Arsenal Football Club. But putting Jesus aside, the biggest news over the last couple of days is Milinkovic-Savic has been linked to Arsenal Football Club. Now, I know Liverpool have been looking at him as well in the past as well. So I don't know if you already know much about him. Personally, I don't know bags fulls about him. I know bits and bobs. Obviously, I brought him on my FIFA career a while back and that he was all right. But do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't really watch the Serie A league like that, especially Lazio. So I can't really give full judgment on him. I'm just gonna have to see if he does get over the line and come into Arsenal, just see how he pans out. But it is good that we are being linked to big names now without Champions League football. Do you know much about Savic?
Yeah, so Milinkovic-Savic, and I'm not going to say I'm an avid Lazio fan, but I think there's a lot of Liverpool fans that still sort of follow ex-careers, and there was 2 players in particular that obviously Lucas Leiva, he was obviously at Lazio. And he was an ex-Liverpool player as well. And then we had a player called Luis Alberto, who never really hit the heights at Liverpool. He was only there for like a year, and then he got sent out on loan. But he registers assists every season. So like Lazio, you always keep an eye on. And then obviously Milinkovic, I think he's 28, 29 now?
He's 27 been around
27. But there's always been this hype that United were going to go in for him, and he was destined for a big move very early on in his career. But he's been a main stalwart in that midfield for Lazio. He is like a box-to-box. He can be combative. I think he'd be a very good fit compared to what you have at the moment. But he's a very good player, and he's a player that I rate. I'm not sure about what the price range is that they're looking at. I think 3-4 years ago, Lazio were looking big money, and we're talking like 80 million back then. So I'm sure his value has decreased. I'm not sure what his contractual terms are with Lazio at the moment, whether he's got 2 years to run or if he has signed if he renewed terms. But he's definitely a player that, I think we're looking for midfielders. We're not short of midfielders. Liverpool are looking for, and I think everyone knows who Liverpool really want. It's that guy at Dortmund. But in terms of Arsenal, I think he'd be a great fit. I think he's probably stagnated a little bit in Serie A, and he needs a big move. He needs a move, and I think London would be a great fit for him.
To be fair, obviously, like I said, we've got to wait and see because Premier League is a different kettle of fish to most leagues, and in order to settle in and even just hit the ground running, it takes some doing and some special type of players. Like I said, I'm glad that he's been linked because he's got 1 year left on his contract, so we could get him at a decent price. I think we've had a £47 million bid rejected for him. They're looking in the region of 55 mil. So they probably meet somewhere in the middle. The only problem is for me is if we go in and we sign Savic, that means the Tielemans deal's off the cards. Now, there's been reports branding around saying personal terms have already been agreed with Tielemans. United are also interested in him as well, but he's waiting for Arsenal to see what Arsenal do. Now, he's a 25 and 30 million pound player. If we sign Savic for about 50 million, that's going to take the budget to about 75, 80 million for 2 centre mids. Believe me, I want 2 centre mids, but I think we need a Savic or a Tielemans and a number 6 because obviously Thomas Partey, loads of news going around about him. Won't really want to dive into it too much because you don't know what's true and you don't know what is. But if there is some sort of substance within that story, we're definitely going to need a number 6 to cover. Lokonga isn't suitable enough for me to come into the Premier League, maybe Europa League and play in the Europa, but definitely not in the Premier League, bro. And with Arsenal, I just know that they're not going to sign both. They'll only sign one or the other. Now, if we sign Savic, for me, that's a replacement for Granit Xhaka. That means Granit Xhaka is more than likely going to be moving on. They re-sign Xhaka to a new deal to just keep his value and probably ship him on to Roma or somebody like that because...
Just on Xhaka, Premzi, has he improved to a level where like Arsenal fans have sort of accepted him now? Because I know there was a lot of hoo-ha. I know that when he threw the shirt down the tunnel and people just wanted him out. Has he sort of resurrected himself? Has he like sort of, have a lot of Arsenal fans forgiven him? Has he improved? Because I didn't, you see Arsenal, off the fly last season, and like I haven't seen too much of Arsenal, but you always have Arsenal, like, Arsenal's a team, when I was growing up, they were the pinnacle, right? Your transfer policy, everything about your club, Wenger, you had it all structured. Now it just seems like, fans are in disarray, the board, the manager, is he backed? Is he not backed? Seemingly so, he seems to be back this summer so far. I know we'll talk upon Fabio Vieira, who was very closely looked at by Liverpool. I think he's a fantastic addition to your team. But yeah, with Xhaka, is he, 29, 30? Is he nearing the end at Arsenal, is he?
Bro, he needs to go for me, bro. I think with Granit Xhaka, it's a bit of a split down the middle. I think 50% of him just want gone of him, and they can't be asked with all these mistakes he's got in him, red cards. Since we've had him, we've not really touched the sides of the Champions League. So, and the rest of him, there's 50% that, like Granit Xhaka, see that every single manager that comes into Arsenal Football Club picks him, relies on him, and puts their trust in him. So I think it's a bit split between the fan base. I'm one of them people that I feel like we need to move on from Granit Xhaka because personally, we need midfielders that can dominate a game. Now, with Arsenal Football Club over the last, 5, 6, 7 years, we've never really been able to grasp the midfield and control games and boss games. And Granit Xhaka's been a part of them. No matter what manager's been here, he's been a part of them kind of teams. So for me, as a club, we need to learn when to fucking move on from players, and not just hang on to him, because as soon as a man can start swearing at the fans and throwing his shirt down, for me, it's all done. I understand that he was getting abuse and stuff like that online from the Arsenal fans, which I don't condone at all. No one should really be getting that kind of shit happening to him. But you got to conduct yourself properly, innit? Not everyone's online cussing you. So the people that are there in the stadium have some manners and respect for, innit? And that's just the way I see it. For me, it's hard for me to forgive people in certain senses, Avio. That's just the way I am. But on a footballing sense, I just think Arsenal will do so much better without Granit Xhaka in the team and have a proper person in there like a Tielemans that's got the Premier League experience, 25. You're still going to see the best of him. I just feel like we'll massively improve by somebody like that, Avi.
It does beg the question. And last season, we were after Yves Bissouma.
Yeah.
And we had, from what I know, from what I've heard, we definitely talked with his agent. But funnily enough, and this was because we were in the Champions League, we were on the rise, Arsenal wasn't. He wanted Arsenal. Patrick Vieira is his idol. And seemingly this season, Spurs have had a free run. I know he had a court case as well pending, but I think that's all cleared now. But I thought Yves Bissouma would have fitted you a lot seamlessly and fit us like a glove as well. Combative, box to box. He ran the show we were 2-0 up against Brighton at Anfield, and they scored 2. Him and Mwepu of Brighton as well absolutely ran that show for a good part of 60, 65 minutes at Anfield. When was the last time you could say that a midfielder dominated the way he did at Anfield? And yeah, look, they didn't win, but they got a 2-2. Then they should have won. They had so many chances. But Bissouma, for me, at 35 million, 40 million, I think that is value. That's value, and that's a player that you will get the best of 5-6 years in him. You know, he's what, 24, 25. So you've got 7 years. You can get 7 years out of him. I think there's a lot of hype with Tielemans. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's got the engine, though. I think after 60, 65, I think his durability just goes. Maybe that's just a training thing, and that maybe, you know, as he goes up in clubs, whether he, you know, plays for Arsenal or Liverpool, that may improve. But Tielemans, he's a good player when he's on it. But this season, the last season, it proved that Brendan Rodgers, he's got the cojones to drop him too. You know, he has dropped him in a fair few big games as well. So he's a good player. He's an FA Cup winner. He scored an FA Cup goal, final goal against Chelsea. You know, he is a good player. But, you know, for me, I think Bissouma would have fit you lot like a glove. I think he's one of the top dogs.
Do you know what, bro?
Central midfielders.
100% right, man. Like, we missed a serious trick on him. And I think it's not just Arsenal that missed a trick on him. I think quite a few other teams like yourself, you know, could brought him in, got rid of Henderson eventually. You know, United as well could have done with a player like that. I think Tottenham are moving serious, bro. They've got a serious manager now, and the manager is bringing in players, bringing in squad depth, and he's also, the most important thing that he's done, he's pumped belief into them. He's pumped belief into Harry Kane. He's pumped belief into Son to say, right, look, use our world-class players. You need to go out there and prove it. And look at the back end of the season, Son was just unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. And I'm getting a bit jealous, bro. I'm hating, I'm not going to lie, because I can see Tottenham being a serious problem next year, because it's all down to the manager. And this is another thing with the fan base as well. Like with Arsenal fans, I feel like there's a lot more people that are on this project. There's a lot more fans that are in harmony and singing off the same hymn sheet. But then you got a few fans where, with me personally, I don't think Arteta's the man, bro. I don't think he's going to be getting us to a place to challenge for leagues and Champions Leagues. He might be able to progress the team, which I think he has done in certain senses. I think he's also made a lot of mistakes learning on the job with certain players. And even January was a massive mistake. Would have replaced Aubameyang's goals, we would have got fourth, bro. That would have then took us to a different level of shopping in the market, and also to give you more pull as well. You don't need to get players in and say, oh, we'll give you an extra 5 mil because we're in the Europa League, an extra 10 mil. You know what I'm trying to say? So I just feel like with Arsenal Football Club, bro, we don't move proactive enough. And I'm just hoping that we can continue this window being a bit proactive, because this has been the only window, I think, from the get-go, we've been linked to top quality players from credible sources. We're hearing bids going in, and we have signed the likes of a Gabriel Jesus, a Fabio Vieira. So squad depth is coming into the team. But yeah, man, just finishing off on Arsenal, though, Abby, we're going to touch on to Liverpool as well, because there's one big talking point that I want to get at with you, and that is Mo Salah signing his contract. I'm believing it's about 350k a week. So they're big bucks for Liverpool. How does all the Liverpool fan base stand with Mo Salah signing? Do they think that now they're untouchable and they're going to be challenging for the next 5 years to come still, or how's it working out?
It had to get sorted out. It was dragging on. You know, his agent, was playing these games on Twitter as well, leading up to the actual day that he signed, where he just sort of, was in cahoots with the club for the right reasons. But yeah, it's been lingering for the last 6-7 months, Premsy, probably from last summer. Are we going to keep Salah, or is it going to be another case of where we just let them go on a free, similar to Gini Wijnaldum, Emre Can before him? And we've got a knack of that, just not, when they hit a certain age at 29, 30, what do we actually do? With Mane as well, we weren't going to offer him the money that he wanted to extend. So, we wanted to invite offers, which we did. Bayern Munich, I think it's a great move for Mane. I think he will flourish at the Bundesliga. But with Salah, it was like, we need to keep him. He's he looks after himself. He's a teetotal. He's got that elite mentality. Dare I say it, like a Ronaldo, like a Messi, like a Suarez, where he will go on and he'll score goals and he'll still be influential at 33, 34, 35. And we're seeing phenomenal records. The first 6 months of the season, he was the best player in the world. He was the best player in the world. Goes to AFCON, loses out in the final against Mane Senegal, and then it sort of just started slipping. He hadn't scored in like 7-8 from open play. He had scored a penalty, but we needed to renew his contract. It's done. All fans are happy. I'm pretty sure 99% of all fans, of Liverpool fans, are happy that he's extended. There was probably a little bit towards the end where, like, you know what, if we get a £70 million offer, if we get an £80 million offer, do we invite that? We wouldn't be too adverse. And I put my hands up. I was one of those fans that, what, if this contract's not going to be signed, instead of letting him play on for next season and go on our free, if we get 78 million, we can replace that. I trust our board. I trust our recruitment team. We've got the best in the business. People were, worried that Michael Edwards was leaving as our sporting director, but Julian Ward's come in, and the players that he's brought in seamlessly, no hassle, contract renewals. It seems that we're in good shape. And with Mohamed Salah, with the addition of Luis Diaz in January, with Darwin Nunez, who's, I know we've chatted off air and we've got a little friendly bet on, with Haaland and Nunez, I think we're ready. We're ready to challenge. And I think, again, this season, and I do fear Spurs. I think you're right about Spurs this season, but I think this season, again, it will be man to man. Again, I think it will be City, and Liverpool will be Pep versus Klopp again.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, to be honest. I just feel like if you would have lost Salah and Mane in the same window, that would have been absolutely devastating for all Liverpool fans, because it takes some recovering from that. You got to think about it. Even Luis Diaz, he's coming. I don't think his end product is just there just yet. And for me, I think Mane going is a massive blow to Liverpool. Like, I don't know where you stand on the whole situation, or you touched on it a little bit earlier on, but I just feel that you should have done more to keep him. I don't know if he felt like his time was up and he just wanted a new challenge, but if they would have put the money on the table, I think Mane would have stayed. I can't see him not having that love for Liverpool, not having that connection with Salah that could have just flourished and grown for years, and that could have been a real partnership. Well, it will still be talked about, but it could have even grown and flourished even more. But with Mane, obviously Nunez is coming and Diaz is coming. Do you really think they're going to offer what Mane has give to Liverpool? Do you think they're going to be able to replace what the quality he obsesses?
So Sadio Mane, right? Look, he's spent 6 years with us. Great player. Don't get me wrong, legend. He's immortal, man. Like, his name will be etched in Liverpool history, 100%. But at 30, he couldn't play from the left anymore. He wasn't effective on the left anymore. I think that was set in stone. So his next position becomes the 9, which, has been previously occupied by Bobby. Bobby's that sort of false 9, number 9. Yes, he doesn't score the goals of like an Haaland or, someone that plays as a 9, like a Kane. He doesn't get into like 20 goals a season. He's not that, but he's never been brought in for that. He's a focal point between midfield and the forward line. And then we've got Jota as well. Again, Jota's not effective on either wing. As a 9, he's a predator. Like, he's a fox in the box. He will score goals from the 6-yard box. He's lethal. He's been, comparisons of Robbie Fowler. He scored, I think, and this goes unnoticed, but Jota scored 23 and 51 this season, which isn't bad. And he was in and out of the team as well. He had a bit of an injury, comes back in, scores goals. He scored 2 famously at the Emirates in the second leg. I don't want to keep mentioning that, but Jota's a player that he works on instincts. He scores goals. With Mane, last year of his contract, he wanted a big final payday, and we know the reason. It's not because of greed. It's because he's doing great things in Senegal. He is an ambassador for that country. He's building hospitals and schools. So we sort of got it. And at the last year, we weren't going to offer him the wages, maybe what Bayern are offering him. And as a 9, I thought we could have done better. And Darwin Nunez, I know, you said that, Haaland scores more. I think Darwin Nunez, and he's a big shout, but I'll carry it all throughout the season, but I think Darwin Nunez scores more than Haaland. I really do. I think he will get the end of our crosses from Trent and Robbo. No, you can
big shout that,
it is a big shout, but I think we're primed for him. If you saw him at Anfield and at Benfica as well, in the home and away legs against Liverpool, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. He was a big thorn. And Van Dijk did an interview with Rio just before the season ended, and he said, he was saying to him, "Look, who's giving you trouble in it?" And he goes, "Haaland's giving me a bit of trouble." But he did emphasize that Darwin Nunez, he was a big thorn in that Benfica time, and he ran the Liverpool defense at times ragged. And he could have got a hat trick if it wasn't for his offside positioning. If he positioned himself better and didn't catch offside, get caught offside, he could have easily got 3 goals at Anfield. When was the last time? Maybe Arsenal ran out a stretch. When was the last time a player could have walked away with a hat trick? But he didn't. He scored a great goal. I think he's a classy player. I really do. He's deceptively quick. Comparisons, and I hate one of these ones when we compare him to past players, especially like ex-Liverpool players, but there's comparisons with him and Fernando Torres,
Marcel's backing you, eh? Marcel's backing you.
22, 23. I honestly believe this guy will be, he's gonna provide a different facet in our play. And that's why we've got that's why I think Klopp and Linders and our other assistant coach, what's his name? I forget his name now, Peter Kravitz. I think that's why that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a different dimension, because if you look at the FA Cup final, Premier League, the League Cup final, the Champions League final, Mane played as a 9. Yeah, and I'm not blaming I'm not blaming him for our lack of goals, but we didn't score in any of those finals. We beat Chelsea in both sets of finals on penalties. And the Champions League final, we were probing, but we just didn't create clear-cut chances. Salah had some chances, like a couple of chances, but Mane hits the post. But with Darwin, you can go in the air, you can play to the feet. He's great on the deck. He's the one that excites me. Obviously, Luis Diaz as well. I think preseason he's had a bit of a rest. I think he played 73 games in that calendar year last year with the Copa America, with Porto, with Liverpool as well. So he's had a breather. He's gone on holiday. He comes back for preseason. I think we're going to see a new dynamism in our play, especially with the front three.
I think that's something Klopp wants. I think he just wants to probably refresh the team up a little bit as well. What you have had that group for best part of 4 or 5 years now. So I can see it. But just for me, Mane is just an animal, a different kind of animal. And I would take him in a heartbeat. And I don't care what anyone says. For me, he's starting at Liverpool on the left. If I got him in my team, he's starting on the left. And I feel like he's give Mane the opportunity to explore something else, because he has brought in the likes of a Nunez, a Jota, Diaz, and like I said, I think he just wants to give the fans something different and show that he can also do with different players as well. Now with Klopp as well, a question I wanted to ask you is, do you think he's going to be even more hungrier than ever after losing out on the Champions League and the Premier League last season? Because it looked like he was on for a quad, and then he's ended up with the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, so it hurt a lot.
But it's still a great season. It was still a good season. I tell you what, Premier League, look, when you're going into the last month, right, you've knocked off the League Cup, you're in the FA Cup final. I think leading up to May, we had to play Villarreal in the semis. But, we should be beating teams like that to get into the Champions League final. We are Liverpool after all. Going toe-to-toe with City, it was a great season. Like, if someone says to me, could it have gone better? Of course it could have. We could have done the quad. We could have won the league or the Champions League. But what it gave us was hope till the very end. And not many teams, apart from City aside at the moment, can say that. We're winning trophies. In 2018, and this comes back to Klopp's hunger. 2018, we lost the final against Madrid. The next season, we ran City close, narrowly missed out by a point, won the Champions League, though, beating Spurs. I know you would have enjoyed that too. And the season after that, we won the league, literally blitzed the league, obliterated every team in our wake, apart from the Watford game where we lost 3-0. But we had won that league in 2020. The next year, loads of injuries. Van Dijk gets injured. Joe Gomez, our centre pairings, for the previous years, get injured. We're playing with like Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, who weren't even in the squad last season. So now going forward, having narrowly missed out on the Champions League and the league, the hunger is there. And he's brought players in, and the players that we have at the moment, they're hungry for success. And that's what he looks for in every player. He looks for application, your attitude, and your ambition. And the players that we've brought in, like Nunez, on the cusp of that next level, and he will get there at Liverpool. Luis Diaz, he's on that cusp of becoming world-class. He will get there. Fabio Carvalho, who's come from Fulham, yes, he's a young'un, he's like 19 or 20, but he's had a great season in the Championship. Excited to see him. Salah's contract. So it all bodes well for the season going forward.
Let me just answer Adil's question here as well quickly, and then we'll get back onto that. Where will Arsenal finish next season? I'll be honest with you, I think it's looking like a 5th place finish again. I think we'll finish above United, and I think we'll finish below Tottenham. I just feel like the manager Tottenham have got, I can't really see us surpassing them. The signings they've made, quality signings, good depth. Obviously, I'm not trying to not back my team. I want us to get as high as and as far as possible. I'm just being real, bro, and I just think that every other team's improving. Like you just touched on earlier, City and Liverpool are probably going to be going for the title, which is pretty much standard these days. Then you've got United with Ten Hag's going to have to be coming in, bringing new players, bringing a new idea, new philosophy. So you don't know where you can have a new manager bounce, a good little bit of good luck, and you don't know where that could take him. Chelsea, yeah, they might be letting players go. They might not be able to afford the players that they did one time, but years of success has put them in a place where they can still go out there and spend. So they will add quality to their team. Tottenham's already had quality. And if Arsenal can continue to keep the window going the way it is and bringing in signings like Jesus, signings of Premier League experience, signings of Champions League experience, some decorated players as well to go along with the youth, then I think there's a chance that we can challenge for the top four. I think we will challenge for it, but get top four and cement it if we can bring in a few of them players. But I just don't have the full belief and hope in the manager, Avi. That's just the truth on where I stand with Arsenal right now, man.
But
But
do you
just
think it's with Arsenal? Do you think it's just a waiting game? You've brought young players, Ben White, right? You've got Ramsdale, you've got Tomiyasu, you've got Kieran Tierney, you know, you've got Gabriel Magalhaes, then you've got your midfield. Like you've brought in Fabio Vieira, and honestly, the Arsenal fans should be very, very excited on Fabio Vieira. I think he's a tremendous talent. I think he registered like 16, 17 assists last season for Porto. He was very integral with Luis Diaz's success too. Those two in tandem were absolutely brilliant in Porto's league success last season. I think he's a fantastic football player. We were looking at him too very, very closely because we've got a coach who's come from Porto, Vitor Matos, who was pushing the club to literally sign Fabio Vieira the season before last because he was up and coming. But last season he proved his numbers. I think he's a great addition. I think you've got a nucleus of young players. You know, you look at Emil Smith Rowe, there will be that consistency in him. But he started off well last season. You know, the Lokongos, I know you don't rate, but the Gabriel Martinellis,
yeah.
I think, and I'm not sure if you guys will give him the time, but Arsenal for me is like 2 years away from actually like pushing on to that next level. And maybe not getting to that Liverpool City level, but we'll be pushing. I think the talent is there. It's just a waiting games and hoping for that these players actually mature.
No, definitely. I can't dispute. I think the talent is there. I think we have got a good crop of players. It's just whether or not this manager can get the best out of these players. Can he manage the situations right? If these players start developing an ego, can he get it under his wing and manage the situation? That's something that personally I don't think he's got. I feel like a club of Arsenal's stature should not have an apprentice really in charge. You get me? It should be a full on somebody with good experience, especially after leaving Wenger, bro. In it, like we can't be leaving Wenger to just fuck around and just fall even further down the pecking order. But last season he surprised me, got us to challenging for the fourth spot. And I've already said, I've been fair. If he got that fourth spot, I would have given him that opportunity to say, right, okay, stick with it, see if you can then take us to the next step. But you didn't get that. I just don't feel like I feel like it's gonna be the same situation next season, bro. And to be honest with you, Arsenal Football Club, man, just sign fucking players, man. Get them through the door, man. Get players through the door. It takes us years to announce someone. We could be linked to someone, yeah, like this Tielemans before the window. There's been talks that we've been in talks with him weeks before the window's even open. But these man just want to haggle over a little 5 mil. You get me? Get the man in. United are going to end up going, snapping him up, and it's going to be a sad day for us. And this is where it's come to now. Us Arsenal fans are looking at just Tielemans and thinking, right, let's get him because he's better than what we got. But in actual fact, there's probably players out there that will fit our system and probably do better for us than a Tielemans. But Arsenal don't move crazy in the market. They don't, the scouting shit. We had Sven Mislintat, bro. When we had Sven Mislintat, yeah, trust me, bro, he was a bad boy scout. We should have kept him. But throughout the last 10, 18 years, but not even the last 20 years, bro, it's just been an absolute piss poor show from Arsenal Football Club, man. They kept Wenger too long. They should have let him go. He got bare backlash because they kept him there too long. The problem is they were scared, bro. They were scared to let him go because they didn't know what's going to happen. Now they've got an Arteta. They put all the eggs in the basket. And the one thing I do rate them, it looks like they're backing him. If you've got a man in place, back the manager. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing for us fans is we want us to win. If you start getting results, no one's even going to speak about the manager. And that's just how it is, Avi, man. And with Arsenal, frustrating as fuck, bro. Frustrating as fuck. I know. I just seem like an absolute moaner, but it's not the case, bro.
Is the Rafinha deal? Is the Rafinha deal dead in the water now? Is that just gone?
Bro.
Is it
Dead. Trust me, man.
Because for me, that's a statement signing. Because I think even for us, Rafinha would be great. Not as an understudy to Mo, but someone that if Mo was to go, I would love Rafinha in. So Rafinha's seemingly, I think Chelsea will favourites within Barca. So I presume that's dead in the water. But that for me is a statement signing. If you had got Rafinha on that right hand side, I think that's a massive signing for you guys. But obviously, you know, one way or another, money haggling, and maybe he just wants Champions League football too. That, you know, you can't get that over the line.
You know what? I think he's been waiting for Barcelona from the get-go, bro. I think that's his preferred destination. And I think there was an option maybe coming to Arsenal. And then I thought, think about the bid that came in from Chelsea. It made him think twice and thought, right, fuck this. Clubs are accepting fees now. Barca, you need to pull your finger out. And I think United deal is going to have quite a bit to do with that as well. I think as soon as United sign De Jong, I think they'll have the money there and funds there to then go and buy Rafinha. So I think it's all a bit of a domino effect with certain players and certain clubs. But I just want to answer Marcel's question here. Why did Arsenal decide to go down the route of youth project? It's been like 4 years now, depending on young players, to get you over the line. The line is a big risk, basically. And you know what, bro? With Marcel, I think the reason why is because we fucked up over the best part of 6-7 years in recruitment. And I think the way that the club's looking at it is, look, we'll buy young players, we'll give it a go. If it doesn't work out, at least we still got some resale value. And I think it's smart doing that as well, but they don't need to bang on about all of this fucking youth project and all that. There's a lot of teams out here in the Premier League that have a youth team, really. There's a lot of teams out here that are young, but no one's banging on about it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just because Arsenal have now got a new system under a new manager, and you're forgetting we're a massive club. People are just going to want to speak about us, these media outlets and everything about certain situations, because Arsenal, United and Liverpool, the biggest clubs in English football, bro, regardless of what. Talking points in it. It's an absolute mad thing. But Avi, man, we're coming to the end of the stream now. It's been a pleasure having you on. And let me tell you now, yeah, he ain't scoring more goals than Haaland.
Okay. We'll have a little bit. We'll go out from listen, whoever scores more shouts the other one to a meal, yeah? So if I'm down in May, next May, I'll take you out. If Haaland scores more, you take me out to the best place in Manchester.
That's a kebab. Nah, I'm not really a kebab kind of guy. We'll have to go for a proper meal, innit? We'll have to go for a proper meal.
Got it.
Sit down and take it. But I'm being honest, yeah. I could just see a Haaland coming into this team of City and just absolutely ripping it up, because he's built for the Premier League, bro. And he is one player that I have actually watched a lot as well. So it's not like man's just judging him off bits and bobs or YouTube clicks. I've actually watched him, and I feel like the attributes he possesses will come good in the Premier League. Obviously with Nunez, I understand what you're saying. Loads of people have given you good reports and stuff. But let me tell you now, Pablo Mari, yeah, did a good job against you guys inside that competition, and that's why we signed him. But look what happened. You know what I mean? He got loaned out the following season. Sometimes it just doesn't work, bro. But people, I'm going to love you and leave you. It's been a sick stream. Avi, appreciate your time, and we're going to get you back on plenty more as well through the window to discuss Liverpool. But big up, people. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're liking and comment below who's going to score more goals, Haaland or Nunez.